Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? Pardon some of the background noise, but waves are getting a little rough. But hey, it's some really beautiful weather here at the beach, so I wanted to talk briefly about the recent debate with the two vice presidential candidates, Tim Walz and JD Vance. And there's a lot to talk about, but I'll try and keep this one a little short and everything. Overall, my one takeaway was this. JD Vance, I gotta give him credit. It turns out he has some quality that he's actually really good at, and that he is a pretty good actor. He is. He got into role, he studied his lines, and he presented himself on camera, and he actually did a pretty good job. Now, somebody pointed out that if you didn't know JD Vance, if you'd never seen him in like past interviews or rallies or any other media events going on, if you've been pretty much living under a box for like the past 6 months, you would probably look at the debate and think, you know, this JD guy, he's a pretty decent guy. You know, I kind of like his ideas. Yeah, he was presentable and everything, but they wouldn't know the big picture. And not to get off the debate, but, well, for starters, he lied considerably. And two, by all definition, he is not a good person. He has literally little or no charisma. He's not much of a people person. He's very awkward when you see him with certain interactions. He's not a likable guy, even though he tries to present himself well. And just overall, on top of that, he is an absolute liar. That is why, you know, he was the one person that complained like that there was some fact-checking done, or that he said that there wouldn't be any fact-checking. Why would you worry about fact-checking if all you're presenting is, or supposedly, facts? Now, the one thing about Tim Walz, and I know he got a few things wrong, or maybe he was off on certain details, and in the beginning, I'll admit it, he looked a little nervous. He was kind of like a deer in headlights. But after a while, once he found his footing, he got more into it, and he presented himself pretty well. And the overall debate was very civilized, okay? Which was a way different change of pace from the recent debate where Kamala Harris like totally kicked the shit out of Donald Trump. But here they won. You know, they spoke like gentlemen. There was a little back and forth interaction. At one point, JD was like, keep going on, and the moderators had to pull the mics because he wouldn't stop. And I'm not going to go back and forth with all the facts and everything, because there was one key thing that stood out for me. In the end, if you're a MAGA person who's already supporting the Trump-Vance ticket, well then you'll just look at it and say, oh, Vance did a great job, and Tim Walz this and Tim Walz that, Walz was no good, JD nailed it. Well, the most of America would see a different story. Because like I said, in the end, JD Vance is a liar, and his biggest lie, or I should say his biggest evasion, was when Walz asked him who won the election in 2020. That was the key moment, and that was where he dodged the question. He went off on this tangent about like what was it, cancellation or something like that, pivoting to Kamala Harris and trying to throw Doja, and Walz immediately pointed out that is a complete non-answer, and he was dead on right. Okay? Of course he's going to deny the election. Why? Because in the past, he's put out the claim that if he was there on 2020, just prior to January 6th, he would not have certified the election results as ordered by Donald Trump, which Mike Pence didn't do. And then eventually we had January 6th and, you know, the violent mob that Trump sicked on the border after he lost the election. Yes, he lost fair and square. And all of his co-followers who turned violent, became domestic terrorists, wanted to hang Mike Pence. And from what I've seen, to a lot of undecided voters, they looked at that and said, okay, I'm not going to go for the Trump ticket, because clearly this guy does not respect our democracy. Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy, and that is the key takeaway. And JD Vance, who once spoke out against Trump, who called him like Hitler and criticized him in some other ways, he was right. But then, you know, he did a 180, got on the whole MAGA ticket, and decided to sell himself out. So, I don't know. Was he lying back then when he was speaking against Trump, or is he lying now? Who knows? But the simple truth remains is that JD Vance is a liar. I wish they had gone more into Project 2024, which Walz brought up a few times. and Vance was a little evasive on. And he wrote the foreword for Project 2025. I'm sorry, 25 I meant. And that's pretty much the conservative plot, to pretty much gut the whole government, give way more powers to the president, and pretty much replace most of the staff with a bunch of yes men, you know, loyalists, cronies that are just going to do everything Trump says. JD Vance does not care about the Constitution, he does not care about the rule of law, and he does not care about the American people. Like I said, he put on a great act. I have to give him that. He kept it cool, he kept it collect, and he presented himself well. But in the end, it is just an act. And behind it all, the real awkward Vance, the one you see, you know, like going into like a donut store, and being all awkward and everything, trying to connect with people, that is the real JD Vance. To say nothing about the racist lies he's been pushing, which he's admitted to making things up. And that wasn't really brought up during the debate, which I think they should have, with all the violence and chaos that's going on in Springfield, Ohio, the very state he is supposed to support. It shows his racism, his bigotry, and overall, you know, his hatred towards marginalized groups. He is not the person for this country. I realize I'm getting a little bit off the debate, but like I said, I didn't want to talk too much about it because, again, if you're a Trump supporter, you're going to keep supporting Trump. If you're a Walz supporter, Harris-Walz supporter, you're going to keep supporting Harris. That's going to strengthen your commitment. And if you're more undecided, I see them more leaning towards Harris. I don't see them looking at that and thinking JD's the guy. Unless, like I said, they've never seen JD up until now. But we know who the real JD is. And the whole MAGA thing, it just goes to show it is no good. Because JD Vance is a liar. The person he's sided with, Donald Trump, is a liar. They are not patriots, they are un-American, and they are not here for the working class. So to which I say, no, we are gonna vote him away. You are not gonna be the vice president, you will never be, because another food for thought is, let's say Trump wins in 2024, and something happens to him. Like he dies or something, natural causes I mean, which is possible. He's up there in age, and he's not the healthiest person alive, and that would put JD at the helm. That is a scary thought, because he would be way more instrumental in executing Project 2025, which is not good for America, okay? It is not real conservative, and it is a push towards a theocracy and fascism. So, for those of you, like I said, who have been volunteering for the Harris-Walz campaign, keep it up. If you're phone banking, canvassing, keep it up. Make donations if you can. Okay? Do whatever you can. Postcards and letters to swing states. There's still a window of opportunity to do that and reach out to voters. When I get on the phone, I still, every now and then, get undecided voters, believe it or not. It boggles my mind, but they're still out there. And they can be turned, you know, if you apply a little patience and convincing and present both sides with honesty. And I know a lot of MAGA supporters are going to watch this and say, oh, you know, Walz did this, Walz did that, Harris lied, you know, she's on and off about fracking and stuff. Yeah, but the person that you are supporting is a far bigger liar, so. And that's the simple truth. And the majority of America is opposed to him. And when he loses, you know he's going to scream voter fraud and try and do another January 6th. We're going to do everything we can to prevent that from happening. Because he does not deserve to be President of the United States. He is twice impeached. He is a failed president. It's going to go down as one of the worst presidencies in all of American history, and he will forever be a convicted felon. Those are the simple facts. So, whatever your takeaway is, feel free to leave a comment. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you understand. I hope it wasn't too noisy for you all, but again, thank you for watching.